lot of mysteries, and it all falls out of my head right now. But I did read a lot of, I read tons of Joyce Carol Oates. I read like everything she wrote. I thought, all the darkness of mankind kind of stuff. I like to think that now I read much more for enjoyment rather than teenage angst. But I think I always knew I wanted to write, and I always found the law to be intriguing. But when I went to college, I thought I was going to be a university English professor. And that was my dream. And then I got to college and I decided that I didn't feel like doing that. So I've done several things. I have taught school, and I did that before I ever went back to law school. So I'm open to always doing something new. I think I'm a Gemini, so I'm always going to be dividing tasks. Anybody else? Jennifer?
Of all the things you've written, short stories and books, what's been your favorite thing?
This is my favorite. And I'm not saying I know, everybody who's listened to all my marketing the past week is like, well, she'll just say that because it's for sale. But no, seriously, this book's really special to me. I was really happy with it when it was done, in large part thanks to my editor. But I'm very pleased with it, and I hope that evolves with every book I write. My plan is to try and write a novel each year, which I think is totally doable. So hopefully I'll say that about the next one.
Can you tell us a little bit about your next book and when it'll come out?
Sure. It doesn't have a month date yet. I imagine it will come out around this time or maybe fall of 2010. I have cards here that have a link to my website address, and it has a blurb about the book and also has a cover, which is smoking hot. I'm very happy. Our cover artist is amazing. The book is about two women. It's kind of a book about discovering that the people aren't always what you think they are, and sometimes you're not always what you think you are. One woman is a rock star. I mean, Joan Jett, rock star. And she has lived her life without responsibility for most of her life. She has something really bad happen to her right at the beginning of the book that kind of sets her life on edge, and all the public, the adoring public that she's so used to suddenly fades, and she doesn't know what to do, so she just basically runs away to hide. The other woman is works for a boutique hotel chain. She's climbing the corporate ladder. She is very focused. She's a perfectionist. She's got a very narrow, tailored life. Every step she takes in her life is meant to lead her to the path that she believes that she wants to be on. And she winds up meeting the other woman, but the other woman is in disguise. And so she doesn't know who she's meeting at the time. And so there's an identity thing going on. There's a running away from yourself, learning that who you are may not be who you want to be. They meet in Santa Fe. I think Santa Fe's definitely a character in the book because the setting is just so rich, and so it's got its own culture, which also kind of adds to making them see things differently. And things happen, and they may live happily ever after. It is a romance after all, but getting there is going to be the hard part. Hey, that's my parents and my sister. Else?
Writing the book, do you start out with how many drafts do you go through before you finally say, okay, this is it, polish, all send it?
That's kind of interesting because Roselle was talking about my word count. I am churning out the draft of this next novel, and what I used to do was write a little, rewrite a little, write a little, rewrite a little, write a little, rewrite a little, and it would take me forever to get something done. And I'm not doing any rewriting. I've turned off the backspace key on my computer, turned off the delete key. I don't really, because I don't know how to do that, but but I am just like plowing forward, and it is going to be messy when I'm done with it, but it is going to be on paper, and if it's not on paper, you cannot fix it. So I imagine I'll do several drafts of this one when it's done. But in the past, I couldn't really tell you how many drafts because I rewrote several pages as I was going along so many times that I probably did 1,000 drafts. Anybody else? Where are the softball people I planted in the audience too? Just kind of throw them. They didn't come.
What do you think is the hardest and the best part about writing books?
It's the hardest part for me is how solitary it is, because as Laney, I'm very social, and so it's hard for me to I have to write in quiet, and I can't do anything else while I'm doing it. So I've really had, and my family can tell you this too, I've been like holed up. I mean, they don't hear from me as much. So I'm off in a corner somewhere. I have a writing studio that I go into and hide, and that's been hard for me to balance the things I like to do and hanging out with people and socializing with that solitary pursuit of getting it on paper. That's why the book club's been so great, because it's an opportunity to talk about books and be with people at the same time. Hi! There's my softball.
I'm not sure how to take that. So how do you know if the romance scenes are really good?
Shut up. All right, go to the back of the class. You just know. What did that famous justice say about certain something? You just know it. It just feels right. Roselle, what do you think?
I'm feeling the fifth on that one.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to write those.
It is. It's very
Yeah.
difficult to write. I think, it's like it's hard to talk about intimate subjects. It's hard to write intimate subjects. So that's all I have to say about that. So much for the softball. Anybody else? Anything? See? Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Um,